Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video we're going to start up with our style sheet for our future JavaScript homepage portfolio. So I've already got the HTML, at least most of the HTML set up for the foundation, and basically this is going to be a standard blank page or page template, and we should be able to use this multiple times throughout the term as we create new pages with new scripts incorporated into them. However, I do want some basic styling, and I'm going to do some styling onto an external CSS file. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and double click up here in my tabs. I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to do a file, save as. Now I'm in my 133.js working folder, but I want to save this into my styles folder, and there's going to be several files in here over the next week or two, but for now this is just going to be my starting page underscore elements.css. So I'm calling my file page underscore elements.css, all lowercase and no spaces, and I'm manually typing in that .css extension. Now, some people in this class have never done styles before, some people have. So obviously feel free to copy what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you a couple things that are definitely optional, and you can do them. One of them, for instance, is a reset rule. Now you'll notice I'm typing a comment up here. This comment looks quite a bit different than this comment. So there's an HTML style of comment, there's a CSS style of comment, and there's also a JavaScript style of comment. So pretty regularly you'll see me do JavaScript comments too, where I just start with a leading two slashes. Okay, so the reset rule can be asterisk, curly braces, and I'm going to type margin 0, padding 0, border 0, box sizing, border box. This is optional. You know what? For those who have already gone through the web development class and are pretty comfortable with CSS, you probably will see the value of doing something like this. However, it will not hurt us if we don't have this in our JavaScript class. It just changes a couple things looks wise, but it's not critical at all. So if you don't care to use it, or if you're just not interested in using it, or you don't see the value in it, don't worry, you can skip it. You can also write it now and then delete it later. It doesn't hurt anything. But something that we will all want to do, I'm going to go to the body of my page, and I'm going to set the background color to a color code, EEE, that's a really light gray, almost white, and I'm going to set the foreground color, or the text color, to 222, which is a really dark gray, almost black. So I do want to do something like that, and I'm going to do a font family on here, and I'll just choose one of the defaults that VS Code gives me. I'll choose this one right there. Looks good to me. This will be the font that our web page is displayed in by default, and yeah, I think that's pretty good, and that's actually going to be somewhat noticeable. This is my page elements.css. I still need to tell my web browser, my web page about it. So I need to head back over to my web page, and then my CSS link here is going to reference my page underscore elements.css. Now that my HTML file knows about my CSS file, if I look at this, probably going to be very subtly noticeable, but I do have it a different font, and things are scrunched up a little closer together. That's good for now. I'm probably going to be doing more styling off camera because it's not important to our class, but I'll certainly tell you about a few things that I do, and you'll be able to access my pages that I make quite easily so that you can get that content when you want to. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that external style sheet for now. However, I think it'll look better if we had a little bit of content on there. I'm still ignoring my external JavaScript for a moment. We're still just doing some setup for our future coursework. And instead of this, about this page, I'll just go ahead and put in my name for the heading 2 within that article. I'm good with the heading 1 name. All right, feeling pretty good about that. And for the nav, I'm going to create 2 ultimate nav sections here. We'll build these up soon in other videos as well. I'll do a heading 2, and these will be assignments and experiments. That'll be one of our navs. And then I'm going to have another one on here, H2, and this is going to be JavaScript resources. I think it'll be cool if we all build up a list of really great JavaScript resources that we can keep going back to week by week to learn new things, get some inspiration, and yeah, test some things out. So I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to have an article in there. Now I think also in my article after my name, I'll do a paragraph. I'm just going to put in some filler, lorem ipsum text, Alt-Z to word wrap that. So I'll just have that going on. And I'm kind of curious how my style is looking. So I'm going to head back to my page on my browser. I'm using the Edge browser today. And I can see that everything is looking pretty good. It's a little bit scrunched up. So let me just jump over to my styles, my page element CSS file. And let's see, on the body of this page, I'm going to put in a padding of 1em. That's going to create some padding on there, some space. For my headline 1, I'll do a text align center, and then I'll do a margin bottom of 1.5 ems. That's going to create some centering and space around that. Pretty happy with that. And I think on the heading 2s, I've got a couple of those now. I'll do a margin top of 1.5em and a margin bottom of 1em. So as we go through our weekly activities, you're going to see a little bit more HTML, a little bit more CSS, and then you can kind of learn from that and just kind of tweak it a little bit to get used to what it's doing, and that's going to create some more line spaces on there. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay, so let's go ahead and call this one good. And in the next video, I do want to show you how to create some buttons that we can use with our future JavaScripts. Thanks for hanging out with me.